Hey everyone, this is Duskalmaka Aesthetic Gamer, and right now we're playing Haunting Ground, also known as Demento in Japan. This was the spin-off game from the Clock Tower series. It was made by Capcom back when they had purchased the Clock Tower IP to publish Clock Tower 3, and then they made this spin-off based off of Clock Tower 3's engine, known as Haunting Ground. Unfortunately, for better or worse, Haunting Ground is probably more well known than the Clock Tower series in this day and age. Not saying the Clock Tower is completely obscure and unknown, especially it's known amongst horror fans. I'm going to let this opening play and then I'll explain more. So, this game has an interesting history. Outside of being a spin-off of the Clock Tower franchise and working off the Clock Tower 3 system of things, this game also has a relationship with Resident Evil 4, as being made by Capcom at the same time as Resident Evil 4. And there's a variety of things that were from the scrapped version of Resident Evil 4, which is known as Resident Evil 3.5, that were stuffed back into this game. Also, the dog that you rescue in Resident Evil 4 is a beta version of Huey from Haunting Ground, and there's other strange connections, but basically this game has a lot to do with Resident Evil 4's development and a lot to do with the spin-off series of Clock Tower. And unfortunately, Capcom did nothing with the IP after this point. We're not going to watch the beta videos there. We're playing this through emulation, I should mention. I'm going to go through this. I'm going to go to options immediately. Now, I don't think I've said this yet. This is my most restarted LP ever, as in I've done this game 7 to 8 times before. This is either my 8th or my 9th time doing this. I've only gone up to being the first boss and a little bit past that. So I know the first hour and a half, I think, of the game pretty well. I have waited for a while to do this, so my memory could become a little bit foggier again, though I do pretty much remember the layout of the first main area of the game, because I've done it over and over again. It's kind of hard to not forget a place if you've done the same thing several times over. I've enjoyed what I've played, it's just always something came up whenever I beat the first boss, or around that period of time. My goal is to beat it, and I'm saying myself in stone to try and beat it tonight, especially since I actually like the game, so it's one of those games where you're defenseless and you run around, and you have a dog, and your dog helps you, and you try not to die as you move on and solve puzzles. Actually uses some fixed camera angles, and it doesn't precisely have tank controls, but has some tank-like controls. Let's see, anything which I should mess around with this? I guess I could change my control types here. Can I change my individual buttons? No, let's see what these are. Since currently X is dash, I kind of want that to be interact. What's the one where O is run? Is there not one where O is run, really? Or dash? I guess control set A makes the most sense to me. Alright. Is there more pages to this? No? Alright, so that means let's go back. We're going to be starting a new game and kicking straight into the ground that is haunted, also known as Demento in Japan. Let's go straight into the game. Now, Haunting Ground takes a lot of inspiration from the exploitation genre of horror, as I'm sure you'll figure out pretty quickly. As such, this is sort of the horror game where you're playing as the defenseless girl who gets caught up in a rather twisted situation. It's very reminiscent of some particular Giallo films. In fact, I would say that Giallo's not really a genre of horror that's represented too much in horror games, but it is represented much in this game. So it also has similar coloration schemes and such to a Giallo horror film. We're gonna, of course, take our time to observe things and try and figure out where the door is. Not there. I just want to put the terrible things I saw back there behind me. I am not going back. Now, even though I've played the first hour and a half of this game several times, I'm going to still take my time to get used to and, I guess, get all the control stuff down. Is there anything to actually observe over here? No? It almost looks like a gated off area, but hey, I'm not going to judge. The name of our character is Fiona. She hasn't distinctively said that yet, but I certainly remember. Can we kick these? There's a kick button, or maybe we can't kick yet. I bet it's probably that we can't kick yet. Let's go. Welcome to the castle, or more so, where most of our games can be set, to this and the surrounding locations. A large tree is sprawled out here. Very observant, Fiona. You got this thing down. Now, there's a few miscellaneous things that we can observe in this first area before we move forward and on. We'll be coming back here later, though. There's a hole here, but it's far too small for me. I wonder if there's some sort of companion that we could use to get through that hole. This door is being blocked by that wooden box. There's gotta be something I can do. Quite possibly. Nothing to observe on that potted plant, which means let me go this way. Alright. Directly this way, and let's go take this direction for a spin. Here we see another one of those red pots, but I can't do anything with it quite yet. I haven't figured out my whole technique's abilities yet. Empty cages litter the area. Maybe this was some kind of kennel for keeping animals. You can keep on telling yourself that, Fiona. I'm pretty sure it is. There's also a shiny over here. Can I get to it? Yes, I can. Shiny. You obtained Chamomile. I forget what all the items do in this game. I just remember there's quite a few. We also see a rabbit over there. Let's see if I get the rabbit. Rabbit. Here, girl. Here, girl. Here, girl. Oh, fucking A. Alright. Well, we scared the bunny off, so that means no food for us. This door's locked. Such a large door. What could be on the other side? Who knows? It's a mystery. I go over this way in the meantime. There's only one other direction to go, and that happens to be up, so we'll take the staircase. Sure seems quaint around here. Alright, at the very top, we find ourselves in another platform area. Being me, I'm gonna have to look around everywhere, obviously. Okay, I know you can definitely kick in this game. I was assuming that we haven't learned the ability to kick yet. Maybe we don't want to go kicking around in a sheet. I guess that logically makes sense. I wouldn't go kicking around in a sheet either, probably. I wonder what kind of room is on the other side. I can see the light flicker from candles inside, but it's too dark to see anything else. We'll have plenty of time to explore this area. You are for sure. That's anything, that's definitely for certain. It is bolted shut from the other side. Yeah, I'm not gonna be able to open this. Well, ain't that just unfortunate? Anyways, we only have the last direction that we can go forward, which is right over here. Let's go up the stairs and do what we can do. Here we are, the only door that happens to be open in this foyer. It almost seems like they deliberately want us to go this way. Somebody was asking earlier about why there was a lock that was so flimsy on their cage. Maybe it wasn't meant to really keep her in. Maybe it was left to impersonate something on her. There's a thought, because they certainly seem to be pretty inviting, all things considered. I mean, they've left the giant dude has decided to leave me alone for a period of time, so... I can't just walk around all day holding these sheets around me. Call me old-fashioned, but I would prefer a normal set of clothes to these bed sheets. Well, okay. Yeah, she's not wanting to observe anything until she gets some clothes on. So let's go and do that then. Da-da.
I've gathered some clothes for you.
Wait! Don't go. Excuse me, but where are we? And how did I get here?
Yes, Master. We will keep her here for a while. I will make sure she stays comfortable.
Well, I'm guessing that she's not going to want to observe anything. The fire burns, emitting a red glow. The room is heated to a comfortable temperature. I can't just walk around all day. Yeah, okay, yeah, she's being all picky again. Anyways, let's actually just go and put on her outfit. I like how you can actually see the outfit because those are the shoes that she's going to wear most of the game. Also, this game I know has unlockable costumes and multiple endings and all that. So I'm wondering if the costume would change appearance here if you had an alternate costume. With the costume I really want to unlock, which I know about, is the frog costume. Which makes it look like a giant frog. Anyways, let me choose this. There's a change of clothes. That maid is apparently laid out. Okay then. Change clothes? Sure.
Wait a minute. I remember being in the car with...
Slowly she gets a recollection of her situation before she arrived here. That worked. But now what should I do? What worked? You can put on clothes? Good job, you. I wasn't quite sure these clothes were gonna work. If I could just find a map of this place, then I could get my bearings. Well, actually, Fiona, I don't need a map. I've memorized the layout of this castle pretty nicely, so yai. Here's our controls there. Additional actions. You are now able to perform the following new actions in the game. The triangle button, there's the cake option I wanted to do. There you go. See, our clothes give us superpowers, so we couldn't do any of this before. Use this to smash certain background objects or to stun some enemies. Actually, you know what? I actually think the outfits in this game do have different abilities. I think I'm actually not wrong with that one. Let's see. Triangle button, throw set. Throw some objects after equipping them or place them down on the ground. So, throw, set, kick. Got it. L1 buttons to crouch, R1 buttons to backstep. Alright, maneuver to crouch and shout to make it hard for enemies to find you. Quickly backstep enemies, too much, stamina will decrease. Push background objects. Some background objects can be moved by pushing the left analog stick or directional buttons in the direction of the object you want to move. Charge. After running for a few seconds, and I always forget that you can do this, press the, triangle button to tackle an enemy. If you're not able to hit the enemy with this move, you should shove them out of your way, but you lose a large amount of stamina in the process. Action has been saved into your file. Now, before I really get started, first of all, we have our handy-dandy kick move now. We also could pick a sign up if there wasn't anything to pick up. I'm going to observe settings around me, of course. The fire burns, emitting a red glow. The room is heated to a comfortable temperature. Look over here now. What a powerful piece of art. The eyes really feel like they are peering deep into one's soul. I think that's not the only thing they're peering into there, Fiona. We also have a clock, which etches out moments in time and also means it's our save game, of course. Now, I would like to actually save my game, so let's make a save file here. Here we go. We're at the castle suite. Works for me. Now, I'm going to go backwards first. It's my first course of action going backwards. There's a pair of scales lying here. It looks like their purpose is more one of decoration than that of actually weighing things. There's a lot of things you can observe in this first area. I'm going to do as such. Okay. I hope this TV works. It's also loud as hell. I wonder what a loud TV could be useful for. A bird cage. Right now there is nothing in it. Oh, those are some nice reflections going on there. There's an antique doll lying here. And the man pictured here has a noble air about him. I wonder how long ago this portrait was painted. Who knows? It's a mystery. I'm also gonna get out of my way and go back downstairs, because there's things I actually want to investigate right now. Welcome, world. My new ability to kick. I recall you can certainly kick those red little pot things, and sometimes they have items inside. So guess what I'm gonna do? Also, I need to check some of my abilities. There's my crouch ability. Now, you can't actually move and crouch. This only means that if you want to hide behind an object and not be spotted. There's my back step, if you were curious about it. Let's start kicking. Huh? What's this? It's a shiny. You've obtained medallion. Now, I'm not going to look to see what any of this stuff needs to do until later. But yeah, no more items in that set, at least. There were a few more red fire hydrants downstairs. And I think they're supposed to be pots, but they look like fire hydrants to me, so whatever the case. We go back down here. We have another fantastic pot to kick. Kicking all the pots all day. Duty. I just missed. I missed again. Let me get better at my aiming. What's this? Let's find out. You've obtained magnesia. I'm getting all the objects right now because I have a little bit of freedom to do things right now, which I will not have later, which we'll get into why I don't have that later. I guess we'll get into it later. There's one more pot I recall, which was right there, so let's do it. But there was nothing inside. Well, that's okay. At least we've smashed a few pots, so we don't have to really take care of it at a later date. Now let's actually go inside the castle. The castle has many twists and turns and secrets that, of course, we're going to have to uncover. That's part of the fun of such a game. We are mostly defenseless, but we do have a few ways to defend ourselves in account that we can kick, we can backstep and crouch and hide. So these are our methods of survival. Without any of that said, let's first take a look over here, because I don't actually think I observed over here. Freshly starched and pressed sheets and bed covers now line the bed. Oh, come on, Fiona. It's not like you're going to find the boogeyman under there. Another picture. I wonder whose portrait this is. It doesn't have a powerful air like the other pictures, apparently. A chest used to store clothes. That's probably where our outfit came from. And our reflection. The sun is starting to set, and with it will come night. You don't say, Fiona. Well, into the forest we go. Where might we end up? Well, we're gonna end up in a castle, because it says we're in the castle suite. Oh, geez, that shadow effect. The door shadow effects are a little bit odd looking there, but still, though. Hello, candle. There's nothing we can observe there. So now comes our great exploration scene of trying to explore the castle. This door is actually open. I'm a little bit surprised what's even in here. Ah, I remember this area. I'll come back here. First, I want to go downstairs. So let's take a leisurely stroll. Want to explore the premise after all. A painting. Several people appear to be collapsing their hands in prayer. Unique. It seems like this and the painting hanging next to it make up a set of twin paintings. Again, I would say unique. What other surprising facts may we find? A locked door. The door is locked from the other side. I'll be marking all this on your map, Fiona. Just sketching the map as we go. That's what every horror protagonist does, right? Oh, another pot to kick. And inside we find antimony powder. All this stuff will become useful and we'll observe it in due time. There's nothing inside. How unfortunate. There's a bucket up there. Do you want to observe a bucket? Of course we don't want to observe a bucket. We're good. Which means we can probably get out of this part of town. Let's go upstairs. All that's left to do is look at this long aisleway. Now, some assets from this game were borrowed or at least inspired by Resident Evil 3.5 events. You can see a archway that looks almost exactly like this from the Resident Evil 3.5 trailers for Resident Evil 4 beta. There's also blood. Is this blood? They also introduced us to a minuscule effect in this game. Our character has something of an insanity effect. Now, she's gonna calm down here quickly. There's nothing chasing us right now, so we're okay. She was just startled a little bit to see blood there. Now, I bet you're locked, right? The door's locked from the other side. How unfortunate. Let's continue our stroll then. This hallway sure is a bit daunting. All this open space. Let's see. Let's open this up. Inside, we locate a library. Things more to check and things to look around. Not to state the obvious, but this is clearly the castle study. Yeah, but I also need to remember not to observe things twice quickly, because I remember this game has like a first-time observation and second-time observation. A massive book stands stalwart. It looks quite old. Perhaps it's an antique? Perhaps, Fiona, perhaps. There's also other things here. What's this? There's a shiny. We've obtained lavender. Lavender and all these weird plants we're picking up will make sense later. Various formula and computations have been scribbled up on the desktop. This goes way beyond something you would learn at college level. There's something scribbled on the board, and this is important, so let's start remembering. Luminescence. Luminescence are tiny creatures that respond to the ethereal energies given off by Azoth. They can be used to help track down nearby Azoth. However, several precautions must be taken while handling them. 1. When luminescence comes into direct contact with an Azoth-infused item or being, they send forth a small charge which shocks the carrier. The higher the concentration of Azoth in said carrier, the greater and more powerful the shock. 2. Luminescence's lifespan is dramatically decreased whenever they come into direct contact with the open air. This time differs from specimen to specimen, but is never much longer than a few minutes. Luminescence? Azoth? No clue what any of this means. We'll have to figure that out later, but that is important, actually. Not to state the obvious, but this is clearly the castle study. Yep, we've stated the obvious a few times, actually. A drawer over here, which is locked. The desk is locked. That's something to keep in mind. Locked desk. Yeah, if we find the desk key, we'll know where it goes. So that's about it for the study. Now, here's something which I'm going to mention. You can either keep doors closed or open in this game. There's also a sound effect that certainly isn't me right now. And our first stalker comes. Which means we should just get going pretty quickly because we can't defeat him, so yeah. And I like to say, thus the chase begins, because we're going to get chased quite a bit during the course of this game. Thankfully, I think I already have an idea. If you hide in the same spot too many times, it becomes obvious, but I think I have a perfect spot to hide right now. Oh no, what should I do? If I don't do something, that thing will get me. It's a person. He's just a little bit deformed. Invasion points. Press the O button when near closets or beds to hide and escape enemies that are pursuing you. While hiding, Fiona's stamina recovers at an accelerated rate and her panic decreases at an increased speed. Also press the O button once more while hiding to exit the invasion points at any time. If you approach a possible invasion point while being pursued by an enemy, the words, "Wait a second, what's this?" will be displayed. This is a hint that means there's an invasion point nearby. However, be warned that if you repeatedly hide in the same location over and over again, an enemy will soon catch wind of your hiding spot. Invasion points have been added to your file, which obviously means let's hide. Hiding. Since this is our first hiding opportunity, it's not going to be an issue wherever we hide right now, because you know it's just teaching me the mechanics of hiding. But yeah, I like how I can hear him sniffing like some dog or something. Yeah. Now, unfortunately, even though the coast is clear, we don't want to rush outside right now because the stalker is going to start stalking the areas that we've opened up so far. By this, it means that he's probably really close to where we are right now because he literally just left the room. If I went rushing outside right now, he'd probably be right there because he isn't randomized. Like, how do I explain this? The pathway is randomized, but the stalkers actually aren't randomized in this game. They don't just magically appear at random timed intervals. They wander around the castle, and if you escape the evasion of somebody and they walk out a door and you immediately follow them, they're going to be right there. So it's good to wait a little bit before you go the way of which they came, or go the opposite direction, because they're just doing their wandering things. Now, there are a few scripted events that will pop up just because of scripted events, but normally they'll just be wandering the castle and they'll be taking random paths to the castle. So how many times we run into them or not is somewhat dependent on a few factors. So yeah, I'm going to give it a little bit because it'd be kind of dumb for me to walk right outside right now. I also don't want to make too much noise, so yeah. I also forget if there's something which I can do right now or not. I forget if this is later in the game or if this is right now. I'm gonna go outside and see if I can judge. No, I can't do it yet. It'd be darker. I think I've given enough time for me to be able to walk outside. Let's go take a chance. The only thing is, since we have such a little area unlocked right now, there's a high chance we're going to run into him again, because we don't have a big portion of this castle unlocked yet. I'm going to be a little bit evasive and save my stamina for running when the time comes. If we get caught and hurt, this game's damage system is a little bit interesting. Your character panics, basically. You want to be a little bit careful when you're panicking, so trying to be a bit evasive because I'd rather make some progress rather than get caught immediately after I just got escaped. There's a few more directions for us to check, so yeah, I'm going to start off with this doll, I guess, because we left this here. You've obtained Viscu doll. He left it behind. Nothing unusual, she says as she sniffs the candle. Push that out of the way, some weird red stains underneath. Before I take that door, though, and thankfully he wasn't nearby or else he would have heard that sound. There also, if you make particular loud sounds, it'll trigger certain scenes to happen, so you should be a little bit careful. Let's observe this door. Hey. It is completely ruined. What could have happened here? A lot of things could have happened, Fiona, but, you know, I don't know the answer. It looks like it fell off its hinges. There's a sign of note right here, though.
It's not a computer, that's for sure. It has alphabetic keys, though.
Do you really not know what a typewriter is? Now, we have 10 letters that we can input, but I'm not going to use this right now because we don't know what we're supposed to be typing in it. So, exit. Eventually, we're going to have to get some sort of passcode and type it into there to make a plaque or something of the sort. Is this a bird cage? It looks like the remaining husk of a bird is in the cage. You know, didn't need to feed it, decided they just want a dead bird corpse in the room. Really fits with the twisted chandelier there. Now, audio cues are really important in this game, both to sort of figure out when you're starting to get chased, and also to figure out when it'd be a good time to start hiding and all that, and if the enemy spots you or not. We're gonna go this way, though. Since I just opened this door, it should take a little bit to figure out that this area has been open. I'm gonna leave the door wide open as I'm dumb.